Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. My name is Ali Ansari, A-N-S-A-R-I. I'm a detective in the investigative support section of the Sex Crimes Unit of the Toronto Police Service. One of my responsibilities in that office is to investigate cold cases. Today, I'm announcing that the Toronto Police Service is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the person responsible for two sexual assaults that occurred in 1993 and 1994 in the city of Toronto. The first case is on November 10th, 1993, at approximately 12:30 a.m., a 19-year-old woman was walking along Dundas Street East near Poulette Street. That's in the Dundas and Parliament area in the city of Toronto. At that time, it is alleged that a man approached her, brandished a knife, and led her on to Poulette Street. It's a small street on the south side of Dundas. The man dragged her under the parked tractor trailer and viciously, sexually, and physically assaulted her. She was also robbed of her knapsack with its content containing her wallet and school books. The woman assisted Toronto Police Service forensic artists at that time for the production of a composite sketch of the suspect. That was released to the media on the 17th of November, 1993. That sketch you will see in the center of this poster. The second attack happens on July 3rd, 1994, at approximately 2:55 a.m. in the Queen Street West and Bathurst Street area of Toronto. A man allegedly climbed to the second floor apartment of a 46-year-old woman. While inside, it is alleged that he attacked the woman and indicated that he had a knife. He then sexually assaulted her and robbed her of her purse. The forensic evidence in the above investigations has conclusively shown that the same offender is responsible for both attacks. In 1993, the suspect was described as either white or biracial, 18 to 25 years of age, bushy brown hair in short dreadlocks, mustache and beard. He had small hands. He was wearing a multicolored kangaroo-style hooded jacket and running shoes. He was armed with a knife. With the assistance of the Toronto Police Service forensic artist, we have aged the suspect's composite to depict him 17 to 18 years older than he was back in 1993. It is important to know that if the age sketches that are shown beside the 1993 sketch look familiar to you, you have to keep in mind that any of these people that look familiar should have looked like the main composite back in 1993. And if you know someone who looked like that in 1993 and who looks anything like the four age composites on this side of this poster, I want to hear from you. My contact information is at the bottom of the poster. You can call me directly at 416-808-7448. You can call the Sex Crimes Unit at 416-808-7474, or Crime Stoppers either on the phone or on the web.
Detective, why did it take you so long to get the match?
The match was received some time ago, and as one of the investigators of this case, I've been working on it for a number of years now. So the match was produced a number of years ago.
Still, it took 15 years. I mean, that's a long time.
No, the Sex Crimes Unit, when they developed the cold case unit back in 2002, submitted a number of items from different unsolved cases to the Center of Forensic Sciences. At that time, a number of DNA profiles were produced from those items, and the links were made back then. But we have been investigating on an ongoing basis from then on.
So the match was made almost 10 years ago, you're saying?
Yes.
So what is it that, what's new to cause you to bring this forward today beyond, and to bring also a reward forward?
Well, an investigation reaches to a point where the police need the assistance of the public to further the investigation. That could be because of a number of reasons. And also the aging of the composite is important. I felt that if we age the composite, it could refresh some people's memories. They might know him now. They may have information about how he looked back in 1993. They could be a family member, a friend, someone who just knew them in the neighborhood. That with this new information that we're providing on this poster, they could put two and two together and come up with a name that I could use in my investigation.
Detective, can you tell us if you've spoken to the victims recently, and if so, how they're doing 17, 18 years later?
I've spoken to both. Both are doing well. They're doing very well, in fact, in their lives, personal lives. They're both still very much interested in pursuing the matter, and we will be pursuing this until we get our man.
What was the reaction from them when you told them that they had been attacked by a man who had been responsible for another assault?
Well, as you can imagine, degree of concern that it wasn't the only person that was victimized by this person, and also a surprise that the police service was still investigating it.
Why have you decided to offer a reward for this case? There are many unsolved sexual assaults in this city. Why this amount of money being put behind this case here?
Well, a number of considerations go towards making a decision whether to put out a reward or not. It concerns the circumstances of the case. As you can see, they're both two brutal sexual assaults at knife point. And also, when the investigation has exhausted most of the investigative avenues and tips and leads that we had, then we have to consider something like this. I'm hoping that the $50,000 reward will encourage people who used to know this person or still know him to come forward and give us the information. I'm hoping that the 17 or 18 years that has gone by has helped to fray some of those loyalties that people might have to each other, friends, family members, come apart, and that this might introduce an incentive to that person to come forward and assist us with our investigation.
Seeing that he attacked two women, are you concerned that he may be responsible for a series of attacks? Given that, I mean, in this case, there were 8 months between the two attacks, isn't it likely that he could be responsible for a series of attacks?
I can't exclude that possibility, but we do not have any forensic or other types of evidence that lead us to believe that he is the offender in other sexual assaults, but I can't exclude that possibility.
What about him leaving the city? I mean, if he appears to be a serial offender within 8 months of 2 crimes, what are the likelihood of him having left the Toronto area?
That's another possibility. I'm hoping that this information will be far-reaching and will reach to different places. In the investigative steps that we have taken to solve this case, I have reached out to other jurisdictions and other countries as well, so we haven't been just investigating in Toronto.
What countries?
I'm not going to get into the specifics of the investigation.
Was a DNA profile not available before 2002? Can you explain what happened there?
As I mentioned before, 2002 was the time that the cold case unit in the sex crimes unit was developed, and that's when they went back and looked at all the old cases that were unsolved, and that's when the DNA profiles were developed. But DNA profiling was in its infancy before that.
Thank you very much. Last question, Detective Ansari. At the time, this guy would have been, university age, or maybe, I don't know, but have you in the sex crimes unit developed a profile of this offender, of what he might have been doing at the time, maybe to take people back?
I have had some experience with profiling, but in terms of being the recipient of a profile, not that I'm a profiler myself, but profiles can be tricky, and they might not be as helpful as people might think. It's not like the TV shows where the profile actually leads to a suspect in an hour. So no, I haven't looked into that area. I don't know if it would be helpful, but we might look into that.
In downtown Toronto, for example, or do you believe he might have been a student, or can you say?
I have no information from the investigation that could lead me to tell you whether he was a student, he wasn't a student, he was a homeless person, or he lived in the downtown core. I can't tell you any of that. I'm sorry.
How old would he be now?
I'm sorry?
How old would he be now, approximately?
He was between 18 and 25 then, so he would be around 36 to 42, 43 years old now.
How frustrating is it as an investigator to come up empty? I mean, you've got the age composite, now you've got a reward put forward, but I mean...
Well, we don't get frustrated, we just work harder.
How does it account for the difference in the way he looks? I mean, from dreadlocks to like almost, clean, almost bald in these pictures. I mean, how do you...
Well, you have to realize that we have produced these age composites as an example of how he could look. He may be totally different, but this is a starting point for people to have a look. The facial features don't change over time too much. So if you can see, if you try to imagine him without that hair that he had in 1993, you will see the same face in all those 4 age composites. So we've tried to think about the loss of hair, change of hairdo, facial hair, gaining weight, losing weight. So those are the 4 examples that we've come up with that he could look like now, but he could be totally different. I'm still encouraging people to look at the 1993 composite and turn their mind back to that time and see if there's anyone that looked like that they knew or knew of that could assist us in this investigation.